Good morning. Today you will be learning how to work with manipulatives with geometry. So welcome to Ms. Long's first grade class. And many of you have heard of manipulatives, but sometimes you don't quite know what a manipulative is. If someone just say, have you ever worked with manipulatives? Well, you know what they are when you see them, but do you know what a manipulative is? Do you know the definition of manipulative? Sure, in preschool and let's say kindergarten, I'm sure you work with them because they're very common in preschools and kindergarten because they help you count. They're used for counting, sorting. You can use it for more than just math. When I say sorting, you can sort by colors, you can sort by shapes, you can sort by size. You can use manipulatives for several different reasons in many ways. These manipulatives are some of the most common manipulatives. Little cubes, or you may call them blocks. I know in preschool you're told several times, don't throw the blocks, don't throw the blocks. Well, we're going to use them for learning geometry. These are more common manipulatives that you've seen before. Sometimes they're used on boards. Here's more. This is one that I'm very familiar with. Growing up, we used these every grade, I believe. These were considered the tens because if we count, there are 10. These are considered ones. This would be considered 100 board, 100 board. We were often asked to 10 ones equals 100. So we would often put 10 of the tens pieces on the board to make up 100. But that was just a quick little review on what you may have known manipulatives or learned them as. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to talk as if how we're going to make shapes using manipulatives, using other shapes. So what shapes can we use to make up another shape? So as you can see, we have a diamond. We have a diamond. We have a square, and we have a rectangle. And with those three shapes, we're going to see what other shapes we could use to make those. And we're all aware that with this 3D shape, because it is a cube, and it's not flat, but it's fat, that we can use several of these, to make a square and also a rectangle. Now, how many it would use, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to figure out. So at the end of this lesson, you guys will be handed out a worksheet, and you will be given manipulatives. Well, you should have manipulatives in your desk, and you're gonna see how many cubes does it take to make a square and also make a rectangle. And we're also going to figure out what can we use to make the diamond. So you will have a few different shapes on your sheet, and you have shapes on your sheet that we don't have up here, but that's the challenge. So you're going to work with those, and we're going to come up and see what all shapes can we use. So today is about taking shapes to make shapes. Manipulatives provide students the chance to work hands-on learn hands-on. So it provides those students with the hands-on examples. For example, I have this, put the top on there. These are some manipulatives. And as you can see, they're cut out. You have, let's say this is a pizza, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices in there. So we know that 6 slices of pizza, we make 6 slices, that it can make a whole pizza. So what if we just cut that in half? We still can make a whole pizza. And that also goes, this also helps with fractions. Now we have four slices of pizza, but it still makes up a whole. So we will get into fractions. A few more lessons to go, we'll get into fractions. But here is just you will see these manipulatives as we go, because they can also be used for other things as well. Three slices of pizza still makes up a whole. So as you can see, these are manipulatives, and they can also be used in geometry and math. And with this, it's very important to touch on fractions with this, because it would help us understand when we're dealing with whole. When we're dealing with whole, and then we go from taking, let's say, we take one slice. So 1/3. But we will get into that soon. I don't want to start a lesson in the middle of a lesson. So now we have the diamond. Can anyone tell me what shape is this? Great job. A triangle. A triangle. And how many triangles do we think will make up one diamond? How many triangles? Yes? No? Not 3, but you're close. Exactly 2. 2 triangles. But let's figure it out first. Let's try it. We have it. 2 triangles made up one diamond. Now, let's try our square. How many? And yes, I am using sticky notes because it helps with the board. As of right now, we don't have any magnetic manipulatives, but sticky notes will work fine. We'll just say these are the teacher manipulatives. So we have sticky notes, Post-its. Can anyone tell me what shape this is? Exactly, it is a square. It is a square. What color? Good job, purple. So we are gonna see how many squares does it take to fill this entire square. So if you guys will help me count. 1, 4. It took 4 of those Post-its, those sticky notes, to make up that one square. Way to go, you guys. All right, now the last one we have is a rectangle. And how many Post-its do we think can take up the room to make a rectangle? Let's count. 1, 2, 4. It took 4 to make up that rectangle. So as we can see, the square could have been bigger. We could have used more Post-its, but as you can see, we use squares to make bigger squares. And manipulatives can be bears. There could be edible manipulatives. We could use Cheerios, marshmallows, spaghettis. There are numerous manipulatives that can be used in math. And as we progress into the lesson, we will get to use some of those items. But today we're just introducing manipulatives in geometry. So we're going to focus more on how to make shapes using shapes. So I'm going to pull out more manipulatives for us to explore, and I will come around after passing out your worksheet. I will come around and each student will show me a different problem and show me how to use a manipulative to make another shape. So boys and girls, if you sit quietly while I hand out the materials, could you also pull out your crayon box, your manipulative box, a pair of scissors, because we will be cutting, and I will come around with the worksheet. But that's today's lesson on manipulatives. And as you can see, we are very excited about making new shapes. Using shapes. So thank you for tuning in with Miss Long's first grade class as we explore geometry, as we learn different ways of using manipulative, learning all about shapes in geometry, and learning about how shapes are so important in math. Thank you guys again for joining Miss Long's first grade class. Thank you, and you all have a great day.